break, this is presence. This is coming home to ourselves right here, right now. The difference is that we're not pulled away by our emotions. Dear friends, seekers of inner peace and fellow travelers on this journey of self-discovery, I welcome you all here today in this moment of shared presence. As we gather, let us take a deep breath together, allowing ourselves to fully arrive in this space, both physically and mentally. Imagine, if you will, a vast ocean. Its surface can be calm and serene one moment, then turbulent and chaotic the next. Much like this ocean, our lives are filled with constant change, with waves of experiences that can either gently rock us or threaten to capsize our vessel. Our practice, dear ones, is about learning to navigate these waters with grace and equanimity. It's about not letting external events influence our inner state. We must treat our mind as an inner sanctum, a sacred space that remains undisturbed regardless of what storms may rage outside. Think of yourself as the captain of a ship. The ocean represents the world around you, with all its unpredictability and challenges. The ship is your body and mind. Now ask yourself, would you rather be a captain who panics at the first sign of rough seas, running around the deck in fear? Or would you prefer to be the steady hand at the helm, calmly assessing the situation and guiding your vessel through the storm? The answer, I believe, is clear. We all aspire to be that calm, resolute captain. But how do we achieve this state of inner peace and stability? The key lies in our practice of presence and mindfulness. It's about cultivating an awareness that allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being carried away by them. This practice is not about suppressing our feelings or becoming passive observers of our lives. Rather, it's about developing a deep understanding of our inner workings so that we can respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Let's consider a common scenario. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. The cars around you seem to be moving at a snail's pace. You can feel the tension rising in your body, your thoughts racing with worry about the consequences of being late. In this moment, our practice invites us to pause and observe. Notice the physical sensations in your body, the tightness in your chest, the grip on the steering wheel. Observe the thoughts as they arise, the stories your mind is creating about what might happen. Now, instead of being carried away by this current of stress and anxiety, imagine yourself as that steady captain. The traffic is the storm, but you remain calm at the helm. You acknowledge the situation without letting it disturb your inner peace. You realize that getting upset won't make the traffic move any faster, but it will certainly disturb your own well-being. This is what it means to treat our mind as an inner sanctum. No matter what's happening externally, be it traffic, a person yelling at us, or a stressful meeting, we strive to maintain our inner equilibrium. Now, some might argue that this approach could lead to indifference or a lack of engagement with life. But I assure you, dear friends, this is far from the truth. We're not aiming to become emotionless robots. We still feel, we still care, we still have goals and aspirations. We're able to experience them fully without losing our center. Think of it this way. Emotions are like weather patterns passing through the sky of our consciousness. Just as the sky isn't harmed by storms or changed by sunny days, our inner essence remains unchanged by the emotions that pass through us. We can experience joy, sadness, anger, or excitement without losing our fundamental peace. This brings us to an important point. Our practice isn't just about managing negative emotions. It's equally about not getting too carried away by positive ones. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, are you saying we shouldn't enjoy positive experiences? Not at all, my friends. We should absolutely savor life's joys and celebrate our successes. But there's a subtle yet crucial difference between enjoying something and becoming attached to it. Let's use an example. Imagine you've just bought a beautiful new piece of furniture for your home. It's natural to feel happy about this purchase. You might admire its craftsmanship, appreciate how it enhances your living space. This is a healthy enjoyment of a positive experience. However, if you find yourself constantly thinking about this furniture, if your mood becomes dependent on it, if you become anxious about keeping it perfect, then you've crossed into attachment. An attachment, whether to objects, people, or experiences, often leads to suffering. The same principle applies to relationships. Meeting someone new and falling in love can be a wonderful experience. But if we place all our happiness on this new relationship, if we believe this person will solve all our problems and make us permanently happy, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. Why? Because like everything in life, relationships change, people change. And when we pin our entire sense of well-being on something external, we become vulnerable to suffering when that external thing inevitably shifts or disappears. This is why our practice encourages us to find our center, our inner stability, independent of external circumstances. It's about cultivating a deep sense of peace and contentment that doesn't rely on having specific things or experiences. Now I can almost hear some of you thinking, but isn't this a bit boring? Are you saying we should never get excited about anything? Not at all, my friends. Life is meant to be lived fully, with all its ups and downs. The key is to enjoy the ride without being tossed about by it. Think of it like this. When you're on a roller coaster, you can scream with excitement at the drops and turns, but a part of you knows you're safely strapped in. That's what our practice gives us, an inner safety strap that allows us to fully experience life without losing our grounding. Let's delve a bit deeper into why having too strong a reaction to anything can be problematic. When we react intensely to situations, whether positively or negatively, we often get caught in thought patterns that take us out of the present moment. For instance, if something good happens, our mind might start spinning stories about how great our life will be from now on. We project into the future, creating expectations that may or may not be met. And when reality doesn't match these expectations, we crash. Similarly, when something challenging occurs, our mind might catastrophize, imagining worst-case scenarios and reliving past hurts. We get caught in a web of anxious thoughts, missing the reality of the present moment. These intense reactions can sometimes lead to addictive behaviors. We might seek to recreate positive highs or escape negative lows through various means: overworking, overeating, excessive use of social media, or more serious addictions. But these are all external solutions to an internal state of imbalance. Our practice offers a different approach. Instead of being pulled into these reactive patterns, we learn to observe our experiences with a sense of equanimity. We acknowledge our thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. Imagine you're sitting by a river, watching leaves float by on the current. Some leaves might be beautiful, others might be withered. But you don't jump into the river to grab the beautiful leaves or push away the withered ones. You simply observe them as they pass. This is how we can relate to our thoughts and emotions. We don't need to chase after the pleasant ones or push away the unpleasant ones. We can simply observe them as they arise and pass away, all while remaining seated on the bank of our inner stability. Now, this might sound simple in theory, but we all know that it can be challenging in practice. Our minds have been conditioned for reactivity. We're used to immediately responding to stimuli, to judging experiences as good or bad, to getting caught up in the drama of our lives. This is why we call it a practice. It's not about perfection, it's about consistent effort. Each time we remember to pause, to breathe, to observe rather than react, we're strengthening our inner stability. We're training ourselves to be that calm captain steering steadily through both stormy and calm seas. Let's take a moment now to practice together. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Take a deep breath in and out. UV break. Notice the sensations of your breath moving in and out of your body. UV break. Now, bring to mind a recent situation that caused you to react strongly. It could be something that made you very happy, angry, or anxious. As you recall this situation, notice what happens in your body. Are there areas of tension or relaxation? UV break. Notice what thoughts arise. UV break. Now imagine you're observing this situation and your reaction to it from a distance, as if you're watching it on a movie screen. UV break. Notice the sensations in your body as you sit or stand. Take another deep breath, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. This simple exercise demonstrates the power of our practice. By creating a bit of space between ourselves and our experiences, we can begin to respond rather than react. We can make choices aligned with our deeper values rather than being driven by momentary impulses. Now you might be wondering, if I'm not reacting strongly to things, how will I accomplish my goals? Don't I need passion and drive to succeed? This is an excellent question, and it brings us to an important distinction. Our practice isn't about becoming passive or indifferent. It's about acting from a place of clarity and inner peace, rather than from a place of reactivity and attachment. Think about it this way. When you're caught in an emotional storm, how clear is your thinking? How effective are your actions? Often, when we're in a highly reactive state, we make decisions we later regret. We say things we don't mean. We act in ways that don't align with our true values. On the other hand, when we're centered and calm, we can see situations more clearly. We can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This actually makes us more effective in pursuing our goals and navigating life's challenges. Imagine two leaders facing a crisis. One is panicked, shouting orders and making hasty decisions based on fear. The other is calm, assessing the situation carefully and making measured choices. Which leader would you rather follow? Which one is more likely to guide their team successfully through the crisis? This is the power of our practice. By cultivating inner stability, we become like that calm, resolute leader in our own lives. We still have goals, we still take action, but we do so from a place of clarity and wisdom rather than reactivity and attachment. Let's consider another example. Imagine you're an artist working on a painting. If you're too attached to the outcome, too worried about whether people will like it or if it will sell, your creative process becomes fraught with anxiety. You might second-guess every brushstroke, paralyzed by fear of failure. But if you can approach your art from a place of inner calm, fully present with the process itself rather than fixated on the result, your creativity can flow more freely. You're able to take risks, to experiment, to truly express yourself without the burden of attachment to the outcome. This principle applies to all areas of life: our work, our relationships, our personal growth. When we're not pulled away by our own emotions, when we're able to stay present and centered, we can engage more fully and authentically with life. Now, I want to address a common misconception about this practice. Some people hear about cultivating equanimity and think it means suppressing their emotions or denying their experiences. They might try to force themselves to feel calm when they're actually upset, or pretend to be happy when they're sad. This is not what our practice is about. Remember, we're not trying to eliminate emotions or become stoic robots. We're learning to be with our emotions skillfully, to experience them fully, without being overwhelmed by them. Think of it like this. Emotions are like guests in the house of our consciousness. Some guests are pleasant, others are challenging. Our practice isn't about refusing entry to any guests or pretending they're not there. It's about being a gracious host to all of them, while not letting any single guest take over the entire house. When sadness comes, we can acknowledge it, feel it fully, without needing to push it away or get lost in it. When joy arrives, we can savor it, appreciate it, without clinging to it or fearing its departure. This is what it means to stay even-keeled, to remain smooth and resolute in the face of life's ever-changing circumstances. As we cultivate this inner stability, we may find that our experience of emotions actually becomes richer and more nuanced. When we're not caught in reactivity, we can appreciate the full spectrum of our emotional life. We can feel the subtle shades of our experiences, the bittersweet nature of change, the profound beauty of simply being alive. This brings us to another important aspect of our practice: presence. When we're fully present in the moment, not pulled into regrets about the past or worries about the future, we can engage with life more deeply and authentically. Presence allows us to truly listen to others, to fully appreciate the beauty of nature, to find joy in simple everyday experiences. It's in moments of presence that we often feel most alive, most connected to ourselves and the world around us. But how do we cultivate this presence? One powerful tool is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the act of paying attention to our present moment experience with openness and curiosity. We can practice mindfulness in formal meditation, taking time each day to sit quietly and observe our breath, our bodily sensations, our thoughts and emotions. But we can also bring mindfulness into our daily activities: eating a meal, walking in nature, having a conversation with a friend. As we develop this habit of presence, we become less likely to be pulled away by our thoughts and emotions. We're more able to stay grounded in the here and now, responding to life as it unfolds, rather than reacting based on our conditioned patterns. Now, I want to emphasize that this is a lifelong practice. We're not aiming for a state of perpetual unshakable calm. We're human beings, and we will have moments of reactivity, times when we get caught up in our emotions or lost in our thoughts. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each time we remember to pause, to breathe, to come back to the present moment, We're strengthening our capacity for inner peace and stability. It's like building a muscle. The more we practice, the stronger we become. And here's a beautiful thing about this practice. It's always available to us. No matter where we are, no matter what's happening around us, we can always take a breath, feel our feet on the ground, and come back to the present moment. In fact, let's do that right now. I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Feel the air moving into your body. And out. Give a break. Become aware of the sounds around you. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a simple practice you can incorporate into your daily life. It's called the stop practice, and it's a tool you can use anytime you feel yourself being pulled away by external events or internal reactions. S stands for stop. Whatever you're doing, just pause for a moment. T is for take a breath. Feel the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your body. O is for observe. Notice what's happening in your body, your thoughts, your emotions. Observe your surroundings. P is for proceed. Continue with your day, but now with more awareness and presence. This simple practice can help you return to your inner sanctum, your place of calm and clarity, no matter what's happening around you. Remember, dear friends, our practice is not about escaping from life or avoiding challenges. It's about engaging with life more fully, more authentically, from a place of inner stability and peace. It's about being that steady captain, navigating